Okay, yes we are. Okay, tangent ratio. Welcome to the virtual students. Here we go. Page 687, tangent ratio. Let's get some terminology done first. Okay, so watch this. Go ahead and write in your notes what I'm drawing here on the paper, please. All right, so we have A, B, and C. We're going to call this a right triangle. Because as we look at trigonometry, it is the study of right triangles. Okay? That's what trigonometry means, the study of right triangles. So we're going to go into a deep dive of right triangles over the next probably two and a half weeks. Okay? All right, so here's some terms that we are going to discuss and apply. The first one is adjacent, opposite, tangent ratio. Not today, we're not going to talk about these, but eventually we will. Sine and cosine. I think we've already discussed these, but we will discuss them again. Pythagorean triples. The most common are 3, 4, 5. 5, 12, 13. 8, 15, 17. 7, 24, 25. Those are the most common triples. And then any multiples of those? Okay. Back to our right triangle, the different terms within the right triangle. This side is always called the hypotenuse. This side is called the leg. This side is called the leg. Now, in terms of this section, which is the tangent ratio, let's talk about that. All right, what is a ratio? Comparison of numbers. What is a tangent ratio? We're going to compare sides. Okay, so let me say that again. What is a ratio? It's a comparison of numbers. What is a tangent ratio? A comparison of sides, which is still a comparison of numbers. Okay? All right, so tangent ratio is the opposite side over the adjacent side. That is the tangent ratio. The opposite side over the adjacent side. Always. Now, you got to know which angle you're talking about because it changes with each angle. Now, we never take the tangent of 90 degrees, okay? Because the opposite side would be the hypotenuse, and the adjacent side could either be this side or this side. So we never take the tangent of 90 degrees. It's always one of the other angles, okay? So let's give a sample. Let's say that we take the tangent of angle C. Looking at that picture, tangent of angle C, the opposite side would be AB, and the adjacent side would be BC. So if I'm looking at C, the opposite would be over there, and the adjacent would be here. Now, the hypotenuse is also adjacent to angle C because it's next to it, but we never call the hypotenuse the adjacent side. Okay, it's kind of like this. If somebody calls me Joey, somebody calls me Joey, it's because they know me from Bremen, Indiana. Does that make sense? So if I'm known as Joey from Bremen because that's where I grew up. Okay? And so it's like the hypotenuse is restricted to only knowing that it's being called the hypotenuse. Okay? It's never called the adjacent. Okay. All right, good. All right, so always called the hypotenuse. Now, tangent of angle C is A, B, and BC. Let's take a look at what this would look like if I would shorten it or abbreviate it. Tangent of angle C would be like that. Opposite over adjacent. Tangent Evan, what do you think TOA means? That's right. Okay, see how I've abbreviated it all the way down. Okay? All means the same thing. Okay, good. All right, so here we go. Let's take a look at an example. We'll go example. Turn to page 690. And we're looking at example B. All right, we have a triangle, a right triangle. We have 87, 54, SU and T. Okay, so they want us to find the measure of angle S. They want us to find the measure of angle S. We know that the measure of angle S, we can use the tangent ratio. The tangent of angle S is equal to the opposite. Okay, so let's go opposite. Would be TU over the adjacent, which is SU. Okay, let's put in the numbers. What's angle S? 54. So we go tangent of 54. What's the length of TU? 87. And what's SU? X. All right, so now let's do the math behind it. Look at that as a proportion and cross multiply. Tangent of 54 times x is equal to 87 times 1. So tangent of 54 times x is equal to 87. I'm going to divide by the tangent of 54. So I'm left with x is equal to 87 divided by the tangent of 54. It's really just algebra 1 solving a proportion. Okay. Now I'm going to use my calculator or my calculator on my phone. Do you have your calculator? Or do you have your calculator on your phone? If you have your calculator on your phone, you're going to have to turn it sideways because you got to get to the trig functions. I'm going to use a calculator. Now, let's talk about something real quick. Using this, you got to be careful because what's going to happen is the sequence of buttons that you push could be different than what I'm going to show you based on your phone or your calculator. So don't freak out if you don't get the right answer the first time. Right? All right, so here we go. We're going to take 87 divided by the tangent of 54. That's what you should get, 63.2. And so x is equal to 63.2 degrees. Now, if you did not get that, there's a couple things you got to make sure that you did that is correct on your technology. Number one, you got to make sure it's in the right mode. See how the DRG, I'm going to hit that DRG button. Do you see how it's in degree mode? You do not want it in radian mode. Sometimes it'll be in radian mode, which is RAD. You don't want it in radian mode, you want it in degree mode. Let me explain. Radian mode is the measure of an arc. Like 360 degrees in a circle. Radian mode measures the length of an arc. Okay? We'll talk about that, but later. Right? Not yet. Okay? We want it in degree mode, which is kind of standard math mode. Right? So make sure it's in standard mode. Degrees. All right? Then, the other thing that you got to be careful of, especially if you're using your phone, is the order that you hit the buttons. Like on your phone, like I'll use my phone because some of your phone is similar to mine. Okay, so the order that you hit the buttons may be different. I know there's a glare, sorry, but okay, so we're going to go 87 divided by, now when you do it on your phone, you actually got to hit the tangent button first. Okay, so you go divided by, I think you got to hit the tangent button second. You got to hit the number button first. 54 tangent. So that 1.37 is the tangent of 54. Now we divided already, right? So all I have to do is hit equals. Okay, everyone see that? Okay. Is there anybody that can't do it yet? You use your phone or use your calculator. If you can't, bring it here. I'll help you. Anybody? Anybody? Anybody?
Like, I have the answer. Mine just doesn't have two different modes.
It does. I'll show you. Bring it here.
Like, I just don't know how to do it, I guess.
Yeah, and it won't change on its own. Now, your phone sometimes can, but see this mode here? See that mode button?
Oh.
You hit that. You see the second one?
Yeah.
If you wanted to switch to it, you just go over.
Oh, okay.
We don't want to switch.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Anybody else? Come on, Lance, bring it up here. Okay, so this is similar to mine. So you go 87.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, you're in RAD mode. You see
It is
this?
in RAD?
See RAD?
Yeah,
So hit that.
I think you hit the yeah.
Hit the degree mode, see, and then go to RAD degree. RAD degree.
Okay, so it was.
Yep, now it's in degree mode. All
Okay.
right, so 87 divided by 54 tan. 87 divided by 54 tan. 63.2.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, Kayla.
I hit tan before I hit the...
Did you try to answer?
Yeah.
Yeah, some again, there could be different sequences for each Android phone, calculator, anything. They could be different. Okay? Just gotta figure it out which one's yours.
What's the difference between normal and science?
Scientific notation means that you're multiplying it by, you know how to turn it in scientific notation. Number of digits times 10 raised to a power. Okay, that's not what I want to talk about here.
John, there's just some other I was curious.
Okay, so that takes care of 690. Let's turn to number 7 on that page, same page. Number 7. Corbin, from the back, can you read off number 7 aloud for us, please?
A ladder needs to reach the second story window, which is 10 feet above the ground, and make an angle with the ground of 70 degrees. How far out from the building does the base of the ladder need to be positioned?
Okay, does everyone see that my picture is representative of what Corbin read off? Ladder, 70 degrees with the ground, 10 feet. Got it? Okay, So let's set up our tangent ratio. The tangent of 70 degrees is opposite, which is 10, over x. I solve for x. I just switch the place of x in the tangent of 70. X is equal to 10 over the tangent of 70. Can I always do that little shortcut? Yeah. That's just solving a proportion. It always works. Okay, so solving for x, I have clear. I go 10 divided by the tangent of 70, parenthesis, equals 3.64 feet. So how far away from the building is the ladder? 3.64 feet. Round to the nearest hundredth. Questions? Good? All right. Let's do one more type of problem. And on this one, we're going to find the measure of the angle. Okay, so now let me make this note, because you need to make this note. Whenever you're finding the measure of an angle, you need to use the inverse. Now that doesn't matter or mean or change whenever we go to sine and cosine. Anytime we're finding the measure of an angle, we need to use the inverse. Now how that looks on a tangent is it looks like that. It's tangent with a -1 power. That's called the inverse button. Got it? Now we're going to use that. Turn the page over. 691. Example 3. Example 3, page 691. Okay, so we have B, we have A, we have C, we have 19, we have 36. All right, for example 3A, they want us to find the measure of angle A. Okay, the measure of angle A using the tangent ratio. The tangent of A is equal to opposite, which is 19 over 36. The adjacent. Opposite over adjacent. Good? Well, it's similar. It's just you have to use the inverse button. Okay? And so tangent of A, anytime we're finding the angle, we want to use the inverse button. So we're going to go to the tangent inverse of 19 over 36. Now notice that I dropped the equal sign. Because I'm finding the measure of the angle. It's the inverse tangent. Let me show you how this works. So to use the calculator, and I'll do it on my phone too, so those of you that, if you can't figure it out. So second tangent, which is the inverse, of 19 divided by 36. Now you could use the fraction button if you wanted, but I like using the quotient button. Parenthesis equals 27. Measure of angle A is 27.82 degrees. Okay. Now let's look on the calculator for those of you that are wondering, all right, well, how do we do this on a calculator? All right, so it's a little bit different. Clear. So we want the inverse tangent. Now, do you see where the tangent button is right here? I'll point to it with my pen. But you see that second? You got to hit the second button up here on the left, and it brings up different options. See how it has inverse tangent now? Okay, so I'm going to take 19 divided by 36 equals, that's the fraction, and I want the inverse tangent of that. So I go inverse tangent, 27.82. That makes sense? Totally different sequence of buttons, isn't it? Everyone find it? The inverse tangent? All right, go ahead and do on your own. Find the measure of angle B. Find the measure of angle B. Remember, you have to take the reciprocal now because B is over here. So the opposite's 36 and the adjacent's 19. You should get 62.18. William, did you get it? No. Nicholas? Kayla? 62.18.
I got 62.2. Would you still count that?
Yeah, unless they're saying round to the nearest hundredth, then you're going to have to adjust the number that it rounds it to on your calculator. Owen, we're good? Lance? Okay. Mira? Zodi? All right, questions? We're gonna get a lot of practice in doing this. Okay, so I know it seems a little foreign right now because you're not used to using that button. You'll get better at it as you work through it. Okay. Now, one other thing before I give you the problems I want you to work on. What's the degree measure of angle C?
90.
What are all three angles added up to in 100 in a?
180.
I blew my own question. 180 degrees, right? So if I would have found that this was 27.82, how could I have found that without using the tangent button?
Subtracting.
Subtract it from 90? Or add the 90 plus that and subtract from 180? They both work, right? Either way. When you add them together and they equal 90, do you know what word that's called? Complementary. What's it called when you add them together and equal 180? So the other two angles, A and B, are complementary angles. They always add up. Be 90. A and B. That make sense? Okay. Here's some practice problems for you. Page 692, 2 through 11. We're not submitting this yet because we're going to add to these on Monday, but these are due on Monday. Page 692, 2 through 11. All right, virtual students, any questions? Send me an email.